Well, I went ahead and put old Digibyte, put an alert on my oh, what's that app? Blockfolio. Put a 2 cent alert on my Blockfolio. Cause I want a Mexican, whoa, Blockfolio. And I mean it's already 0.16 again, penny 0.6 there. You know, looking pretty good. And of course, that freaking Electronia, man. Whoa. That's crazy. I think I put one here also for either 4 or maybe it was 5, half of a penny. I think I got an alert for half of a penny. Not that it's going to make me do anything, by the way. That doesn't automatically mean, oh, dump it, dump it. No, it just, you're not always looking at your portfolio or whatever. I just want the thing to alert me one time alert when those prices are hit. Just because, honestly. Now, again, if what we're seeing here right now with cryptos, by chance, continues on, major announcements, arrests, something happens, again, whether the market crashes, goes back up, whatever. But if this trend upward basically continues, we may have a real nice 2020 here on our hands. Bitcoin, 8848.88. 88.48.78. That loves those numbers. Let's see if we can catch it here. 8848. I was looking at this one specifically. 96. 8848. 8849. 8850. It was sitting there bouncing back and forth, and of course now I show it to you, and it's like, nah, no thanks. There's 08. 08, caught it. Anyways, Webbot man told us look for that. So, it's not, pleasurable to, not in my opinion anyways, not how I am, to, look at someone else's misery as, oh, I could profit, I could get stuff that I wanted for cheap, and I'm going to take advantage. That's not what this is about. But when we've been talking about this for 3 years now, I mean, I was talking about Bitcoin in 2013. I got started, barely, a little bit in 2014, a little bit just every now and then. Once 2016 rolled around, Cliff High's Webbot stuff, I was like, okay, time to start talking about it. He's making these price predictions, boom, 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 boom. And then 2017, it was game over. I was all over it, like crazy over on crypto. And I had said many times, wouldn't it be crazy if the housing market was crashing and cryptos were just going up? And we could buy housing and things that we wanted. Whether that's pay your house off in full, buy a second house, maybe sell your house, buy something else if you wanted, or 2 or 3 houses. Again, whether that's for family, rental income, whatever. But, I didn't wish this on anybody, but you can see stuff coming. And that's why I said, all these people tell me, stop talking about crypto, go back to the news. No. Love you guys, but no, it's my channel. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, thanks. And I want to talk about crypto amongst the new stuff. And a lot of people, like I've said, man, Joe, thanks for sticking to your guns, man, because I finally jumped in and I can see it now, which is great. I'm glad. I'm just staring at Electronium. It's up 50. It's basically 50% now from just a few days ago. Love it. But again, about this whole rent thing, this is some real numbers here. And this is kind of spelling, again, disaster for the housing market. It reminds me of Cliff High's Webbot. There's going to be a lockup in basically lending mortgages. Like, it's just going to kind of, it's going to be hard to do. We're already finding that out now. And the party hasn't really started yet, so to speak. So Zero Hedge has this article, Holy God, we are about to lose everything. Pandemic crushes over-leveraged Airbnb superhosts. As you'll read, in summary, these are people. Oh, what's this? Stand by. Hang on one second. Yeah, I saw an email come in on these quadcopters that have cameras and stuff. They have what's called a gimbal. The gimbal typically mounts to the, you can get them at aftermarket sometimes, but it basically mounts to the quadcopter. It holds a camera, and as the thing's flying in the air, shaking and everything, this gimbal just holds it absolutely precise. Like you would never know it's even moving. So my DJI Mavic 2 Zoom copter has one built in the front of it. You know, you can't really change anything. But they make these aftermarket ones that you can kind of mount to any quadcopter. And I've got that thermal camera. So I thought, wow, this thing's really inexpensive. I already got this stuff to mount it on the top of my drone, which I've used and tested it. But it shakes at the top and it's not real stable because it's not on a gimbal. So I thought, well, I'll get that. Anyways, they said, oh, you know, due to the COVID thing and shipping, like, can you wait an extra 15 days? We don't have any in stock at the moment. And whatever. I said, yeah, I don't need it that fast. So that's why I saw it coming. I was like, oh, what's this? I heard the word sorry, but I was like, uh-oh. So I'll just reply real quick. So, again, holy God, we're about to lose everything. Pandemic crushes overleveraged Airbnb superhosts. These are people that went out and got mortgages on a bunch of properties for rental income. And again, when you have customers, it's great. It actually works. You're making profit. It's fantastic. But as soon as that client revenue dries up for any reason, you're done, unless you own the property outright. And most all of these people don't. So there's a whole slew of Airbnb houses probably about to come up for sale, unless they can't get foreclosed on again. And Trump says, oh, no, wait a minute. No, nobody's getting foreclosed on. I don't care, even if you had 3, 4, 5 houses. Although Trump may say, you know what? Some of you guys have 20, you're about to hear, 20-something houses, all mortgaged. Look, I want to help the people out, but I'm willing to help your primary residents. Okay? The rest of it, sorry guys, they're going to have to get foreclosed on. He may have to do something like that. But, again, primary residents, I could see Trump standing in, hey, no, I'm not doing this. We're not playing that game. We're not bailing out the banks while these people get kicked out of their houses. However, if someone's standing there with 20 houses, your primary one, we're covered, but the other 19, no, dude. Sorry. But again, even at the same time, if I'm that dude, I'm suing somebody. China, oh no, you can't sue China. We had an international agreement. You can't sue them. Sorry. Act of God virus. And again, if we got crypto skyrocketing, and these banks sitting on these foreclosures, that ultimately will be what happens potentially here. They were letting them go for fire sales too, people. The banks would just pay me, auction, whatever, fire sales, let's go. And, oh, I've got crypto, let me liquidate. Boop, 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 wire transfer. Bzz. Not mortgage. Wire transfer paid, thank you. Anyways, this is an interesting article, so pay attention to this one, because this is the real deal. History doesn't repeat itself, but oftentimes it rhymes, as Mark Twain is often reputed to have said. Before the 2007 and 8 global financial crash or crisis, people built real estate portfolios based around renters. We all know what happened there. Once consumers got pinched in the global financial collapse, rent payments couldn't be made, and it rippled down the chain and resulted in landlords foreclosing on properties. Now, meaning banks foreclosing. Now a similar event is underway, that is, over-leveraged Airbnb superhosts, who own portfolios of rental properties built on debt, are now starting to blow up after the pandemic has left them incomeless for months and unable to service mortgage debt. We have described the financial troubles that were ahead for Superhosts in late March. This is Zero Hedge again. After noticing nationwide lockdowns led to a crash, not just in the tourism and hospitality industries, but also plunge in Airbnb bookings. Speaking of that, there was someone that booked the house that we normally get when I was going there in March. And I had dates set, and then I had to go, no, I want to come earlier. And she's like, oh, I was like, oh, it's already taken. Shoot, those 3 days. Oh, well. All right, I'll just get a hotel maybe for the first couple of days. So as we got closer and closer, COVID comes out. I was only a couple of days away from getting there. I said, hey, can you just double check? Is that booking still there? She goes, yeah, I think I had somebody. Let me look. Oh, no, they've canceled. It automatically canceled. Okay. Yeah, it's available. I said, okay, good, I'll be there. And she's like, well, I haven't been there. Someone was there before, and I still haven't been there to clean up or whatever. I said, don't worry about it. I'll do it. You got extra sheets in the closet. I'll put new sheets on. I'll do the laundry, the old ones. It's sitting. No, I want the house. So it worked out for me. It worked out for her. So anyways, while we have described the financial troubles that were ahead for Superhosts in late March after noticing nationwide lockdowns led to a crash not just in the tourism and hospitality industries, but also a plunge in Airbnb bookings. It was to our surprise that Airbnb's management understood many of their superhosts were overleveraged and insolvent, which forced the company to quickly erect a bailout fund for superhosts that would cover part of their mortgage payments for April. And if you want to know what the chart looks like for Airbnb bookings, locked out, here it is, February 20, by middle to later March, boom, 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 down, just terrible. Cheryl Dopp, 54, has a small portfolio of Airbnb properties with monthly mortgage payments totaling around $22,000. She said the increasing rental income of adding properties to the portfolio would offset the growing debt. When the pandemic struck, she said $10,000 in rental income had evaporated overnight. Quote, "I made a bargain with the devil," she said while referring to her financial misery of being overleveraged and incomeless. Dopp said when the pandemic lockdown began, quote, "I thought, holy God, we're about to lose everything." Market research firm AirDNA LLC said $1.5 billion in bookings have vanished since mid-March. Airbnb gave all hosts a refund, along with superhosts, a bailout, but in Airbnb terms they call it a grant. Quote, "Hosts should always be prepared for this income to go away," said Gina Marotta, a principal at Argentia Group, Inc., which does credit analysis on real estate loans. Quote, "Instead, they built an expensive lifestyle feeding off of it." Guys, this is 2005, 6, 7, all over again. Get a second house, get a mortgage. By the time you feel, it'll be up. Prices are skyrocketing, man. You just flip the house, get out of it, get in the new house, man. Get a second house. Yeah. Flipping houses, flip it, and then boom, flipped on top of your effing head. We noted this last month. That was a mixture of month and March, in case you're wondering. Munch. Of the 4 million Airbnb hosts across the world, 10% are considered superhosts, and many have taken out mortgages to accumulate properties to build rental portfolios. Airbnb spokesman Nick Papas, you related to the mamas and the papas? "'Cause all the rent is gone, and the houses are empty, I went out for a walk to the mortgage lender, but the door was locked. Dun, 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 dun." What do you do in the face of disaster? Make up a parody and make people laugh. What else are you going to do? Airbnb spokesman Nick Papas, not related to the mamas and the papas, said that the decline in bookings and slump in the tourism and travel industry is, well, temporary. Travel will bounce back, and Airbnb hosts, the vast majority of whom have just one listing, will continue to welcome guests and generate income. Papa's optimism about a V-shaped recovery has certainly not been echoed in the petroleum and aviation industry. As a matter of fact, Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun warned on Tuesday that air travel growth might not return to pre-corona levels for years. Fewer people traveling is more bad news for Airbnb hosts, that a slump could persist for years, leading to the eventual deleveraging of properties. And that's the thing. I'm not saying that this year all of a sudden, prices are going to dump and cryptos skyrocket right now and you get the property. Although it could happen due to the severity of things, but, when 2005 and 6 hit, that was the peak. 2007, okay. Rock bottom prices weren't until like 2010, 11, and even 12. Those 3 years, 2010, 11, and 12, basically. That was several years later. The problem is 2006, 7, 8 is you can't even hold a candle to what's happening right now. This is far worse. So does that mean the stuff happens here earlier? And again, what if Trump says, no, stop, no foreclosures? Well, then who's going to be selling all those properties? Don't know. You might have people just getting nervous right now, getting ready to unload, because they don't know what's going to happen. We got 2 houses before the prices dump. Let's unload it right now. Who knows? AirDNA has determined that a third of Airbnb's U.S. hosts have 1 property. Another third have between 2 and 24 properties. And get ready for this. The final third have more than 24 properties. Startups such as Sonder Corp and Lyric Hospitality Inc. manage properties for hosts that have 25 plus properties. Many of these companies have furloughed or laid off staff in April. Jennifer Keller Hazlett of Clawson, Michigan, spent $380,000 on 2 properties in 2018. She and her husband borrowed $100K to furnish each. Rental income. $100K to furnish each? What the hell are you putting in there? Rental income could net up to $7,000 per month from Airbnb after mortgage payments, which would supplement her income as a part-time pharmacist and husband's work in academia. Before the virus struck, both were expecting to buy more homes. Now they can't make the payments on the Airbnb properties because rental income has collapsed. Quote, "We're either borrowing more or defaulting," she said. It's only 2 choices they have. And another Airbnb horror story via the Journal. That sum would provide little relief to hosts such as Jennifer and David Lundrum of Atlanta. In 2016, they started a company named Local, renting the 18 apartments they leased and 21 apartments they managed to corporate travelers and film industry workers. They spent more than $14,000 per apartment to outfit them with rugs, throw pillows, art, and chandeliers. They grossed about $1.5 million annually, mostly through Airbnb, Ms. Lundrum said. They spent about $50,000 annually with cleaning services, about $25,000 on an inspector, and $30,000 a year on maintenance, staff, and landscapers. She said, not to mention spending on furnishings. When Airbnb began refunding guests March 14, the Landrums had nearly $40,000 in cancellations, she said. The couple has been able to pay only a portion of April rent on the 18 apartments they lease and can't fulfill their obligations to pay 3 months' rent unless bookings resume. They have reduced pay to cleaning staff and others. Adding to the stress, Georgia banned short-term rentals through April. Quote, "It's scary," she said. Miss Landrum, who said she has discounted some units 3 times since mid-March. The Landrums have negotiated to get some leniency from apartment owners on their leases. If not, Ms. Landrum said, they would have to sell their house. To make matters worse, and this is exactly what we warned about last month, Airbnb Superhosts are now panic selling properties. Greg Haig, who runs a Phoenix real estate firm, said Airbnb hosts are desperate to sell properties in April. So again, is crypto going to go up high enough now as we enter March or May? And you're going to find some distressed Airbnb hosts selling whatever? Well, maybe. I'm not, again, I never came, like I'm one of the elitists. Blood on the streets. Let me go get all these cheap properties. Screw those people. I don't care if they got kids. I don't care if they got family. F them. I want the property and the profit. No. But if they're selling, no, I didn't tell them and I didn't scare them into selling. It wasn't me. But if you're willing to sell, then I might be willing to buy. No pressure. There's a flood of people. You have people coming to us saying, I'm a month or 2 away from foreclosure. What is it going to take to get it sold right now? And here's what we said in March. Zero Hedge. We might have discovered the next big seller that could ruin the real estate market. Airbnb superhosts that need to get liquid. That was Zero Hedge in March. This is why I read you guys mostly Zero Hedge articles. They are on point. Now all I need to see is that damn crypto market get a little crazy. And again, even if it's those 2 little cryptos I keep talking to you about, Digibyte and some Electronium. It'd be nice if tomorrow we woke up, it hit the 4 cent or the half a cent mark. That's fantastic. Oh, Digibyte, it's also 2 cents now. Great. Keep going, baby. Keep going. Snippy needs a new pair of shoes. Or an Airbnb house. That. Take care.